Please don't fall over. Please don't fall over.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Take Aim Gamescast, episode 33 to be specific. I'm your host, Scott Mills, a Microsoft/PC expert. To my left, I've got Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert.
Hello, hello.
And on my right, I've got Eric King, the Nintendo expert / a little bit of everything expert, and the newsman.
Hey, how you guys doing?
And returning, we've got special guest Jared, one of our more popular guests that we've ever had.
What's up, guys?
Very good.
Very good.
I don't know why that's funny. That was actually good. Okay. So we've got a episode today. We wanted to do a little bit earlier since there was a Nintendo Direct that happened.
Yep.
And so yeah, newsman.
Well, I'm
Big
gonna start
news
off
with the Nintendo
with
Direct.
we got the news, so you gotta let me run my news. But wanted to start off with the scores for Hogwarts on Metacritic.
Oh, okay.
We got
On
85.
OpenCritic?
Well, I'm on Metacritic.
Okay,
Well,
that's fine.
oh well, I think they're the same anyways. But on
They're a
Metacritic,
little
it's got an 85% currently,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on that's on PlayStation. It's got an 89% on Xbox. What does that tell you guys? Does that mean it's better on Xbox, or does that mean there's less games on Xbox?
Oh.
And
So
they're
is
like,
that
man,
the-
this is great.
Is that the fan review score or the critic review
No, it's
score?
a critic review.
The critic review.
They're like, man, we got so little games here. This is a good one.
Oh, Hi-Fi Rush has it beat by 1. I think Hi-Fi Rush was a 90, so.
Well, it's 84% PC, so I guess they got a lot of games.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to get into the news with the Direct. I don't know if any of you guys watched it, but we had a lot of big announcements for this Nintendo Direct. I'm gonna bring up my page here, but some of the things I was excited for was that Metroid Prime remaster.
Cats. There are cats that could be meddling with things.
Sorry, we're in my house this time. So
Yes. Oh, yeah. I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, we're in a completely different setting.
First time ever.
Yeah.
Casa de Wolf.
But keep going, Eric. Sorry.
But yeah, anyways, so there was a lot of big announcements. Metroid Prime remaster.
Mhm.
It actually got release day of the Nintendo Direct, and but I think they have like a physical version coming out February 22nd. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna end up waiting for that one.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
really good. It looked a lot.
No, I've never played any of the Metroid Prime games. So
Yeah.
is that? Have you?
Neither.
Have
Oh, you guys
either
really?
of you guys
I
played
haven't.
Metroid
No,
Prime?
I played like the original one on GameCube,
Okay.
and like that was so scary back in the day. I don't know if it was because I was only like 10 years old or something, but
You talking about the original Metroid Prime?
yeah.
Yeah, dude, I got scared playing that game too.
Yeah, when you like walked into the spaceship or
fucking-
whatever, and
yeah.
then there was that fucking like, dead
The
ass
weird, like,
thing.
yeah.
I was like, "Oh!"
But
yeah.
yeah.
But
That shit was pretty scary.
No, that game definitely looks a little crispier now in HD, so I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
and I think they're supposed to update the controls too. So.
Yeah, because I think
That's
the
cool.
original one didn't have like a right thumbstick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember how they aimed in it, but but yeah, they added that. So, and then another one I'm excited for is Pikmin 4. That got a release date. I think it was announced.
Summer.
It
It
looks like
July?
July 21st,
Yeah.
but I
And
didn't
you're
know
a
if that was
bit-
previously announced before that direct or not. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I don't
You
think
you
so.
grew up on those games, right? You played Pikmin 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I see they added a little dog to it now.
Yeah,
so.
the dog. I was gonna.
My question though was like did it look like next gen, like for a Switch? It kind of looked like outdated graphics, don't you think? Or maybe I was just
Yeah,
watching a
well,
poor stream of it.
Switch is more like last gen.
Well, I was
anyway,
actually
so.
gonna-
That's true.
I was going to kind of get into that at the end of this news here,
Okay.
but
Sorry.
but anyways, Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot. We've all been waiting on a release date for that
Excited
game.
about that, yeah.
Because it was supposed to come out, I think, like last April
year.
or something,
Yep.
and then it got pushed back, and then they never talked about it since. But that finally got released date April 21st this year, so it got pushed back a whole year. Octopath Traveler, they released a demo day of for the, and they had a release date for it. I think
Okay, so we're back. There was a little bit of an accident, but
Wait,
everything's
are
fine.
you stitching
No,
this
we're
all together?
Yeah, so we're gonna
Okay.
continue with the news
Oh,
now.
okay.
Are you sure you're gonna be able to handle it?
So a cat knocked down the phone.
I think I was on Octopath. That had a release date, sometime in February.
Yeah, and a demo, so it can be checked out.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Day of the direct, which was cool. So.
Yeah, there's another one. Sea of Stars is another JRPG.
Oh yeah, I
type
saw
of
that
game.
actually. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought that
Yeah,
would
it's
be
got
one you
the
like.
composer from Chrono
Isn't it
Cross,
probably?
or Chrono Trigger, I think.
Oh really?
Oh,
in that
Chrono
game.
Yeah, I thought that looked interesting. And that leads me into another release on the day of the direct was the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about. I love Game Boy Advance back in the day. That was probably like my most played console.
So it's Game Boy, the original Game Boy.
Color. Yeah, it's
Original
Game
Game
Boy
Boy.
Color / Game Boy.
Yep.
Yeah,
You can switch
that's
between it.
free with just the online or whatever, and then
Okay.
Game Boy Advance you have to get the expansion pack thing or whatever.
And I think it has like filters right between the Game Boy Pocket,
Yeah,
and then the
you
Game
can-
Boy Color.
yeah,
You can like change it, switch it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fun
don't
to
know,
get.
I'm gonna use
That's
Game
cool
Boy
they have
Pocket version. but-
Backwards compatibility stuff.
So can I ask this? Here's a question for you, Eric, as a Nintendo guy.
Mhm.
Do you think they will put Pokemon Red and or Blue on there? And if so, do you think they'll charge extra to get those games on there? Do you think it'll be just be downloaded, available, with the purchase of the online or the expansion pack?
Well, that leads me to another point. Actually, they do have multiplayer for all these games, so
Mhm.
if they did end up doing that, that'd be cool because you could trade and battle people at will, not having to have a fucking
Link cable. Yep.
Damn link.
Yep.
But
Go to the Pokemon Center and doing that. Yep.
they didn't announce anything on it, but I would imagine at some point they would add it. Plus, you can also get Fire Red and Leaf Green or whatever for the advance.
If they
Updated
release
versions.
that.
Yeah, it would be the updated version. So I don't know which ones they would decide to do or do first or whatever. But
Well, they are releasing Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 on the N64 console, the virtual console, but those weren't developed by Game Freak. So maybe it has to be like that's why those are going on the Nintendo 64 virtual console thing. But maybe because they're made by Game Freak, maybe they won't
yeah,
be.
because
I don't know.
you would have thought there would have been like a day one thing with this, but they didn't really have too many like day one games to speak of. I mean, the Minish Cap, Zelda the Minish Cap, that was a cool one for Game Boy Advance, but
Yeah.
other than that, there wasn't anything I was really interested in day one.
Link's Awakening.
But they did. Oh yeah, on Game Boy Color, but that's like so fucking
Yeah,
dated
Link
now.
Awakening DX. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe I'll check that one out too. But there was they showed some of the ones that were coming though, and it included like Golden Sun, Fire Emblem. You should check out Fire Emblem, Brett, because you started off with 3 houses, and I'd like to see like what you think of the original version, because I don't know if it's nostalgia or if it's just really that good, but I thought like the old ones, that one and Sacred Stones, which was also on Game Boy Advance, some of them that comes too, but
Okay.
I thought those were hands down like better than these newer ones, but
Okay.
it might just be a nostalgia thing, so.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I want to get your opinion
Yeah,
on
so
it whenever they
yeah.
do come out.
I wanted to thank Eric for loaning me his old Nintendo Switch, the not an OLED one, because now I get a chance to experience some of the Nintendo Switch games. So,
Did he give you any games to borrow?
yeah, I got Pokemon Sword and Shield, I got Metroid Dread, and Fire Emblem Three Houses. So that's kind of what made me, like, we were talking about Fire Emblem, it's like, oh yeah, I'll probably try out Three Houses.
Well, if you want to try, I have Odyssey still and Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So if you want to play Breath of the Wild if you want to buy like Tears of the Kingdom, I'm assuming everyone just let you borrow it until you're sick of it.
Yeah,
But
maybe
he already
a
has
while.
he has an OLED.
Well, I own Breath of the Wild and Luigi's Mansion too, but I've lent those to Jeff and haven't seen those for over a year.
Yeah. You let me Ratchet and Clank. You still haven't seen it back.
Yeah, I've lent out a lot of games, but none of them have returned. So, anyways, so that leads me to my final point about this Nintendo Direct,
Yeah.
and that's what was surprising about this Direct was they haven't announced any games like past July, which to me
What
is
does that tell you?
that's kind of interesting because I think that could mean Switch 2 on the horizon.
In the summer, they're gonna announce that.
Maybe announce Switch 2 in the summer and then announce whatever their holiday games are coming out with it. But because it's weird that they haven't announced anything past July.
But I think if it was gonna be this year, I think that Zelda would be like a launch game with it. But
Maybe, or maybe they're saving like a new Mario game for it. I was thinking, or even Metroid that got announced.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
4
that won't be
or
on the
something.
Switch.
Huh?
That won't be on the Switch.
Yeah, on the Switch.
It'll be on the
original.
next console.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because they announced that like with the launch of the original Switch, and then it got pushed back, and it's still
in
in out,
development
so.
the whole time.
Yeah, so it's been in development for like 5 years here, but
Well, let's think back in 20. I don't want to belabor this point, but back in 2017, they announced the Switch and showed it off in January, I think, 2 months before release, which was in March, I think, of 2017.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's very possible. I think I agree with
Yeah,
you.
because
that-
a lot of the big games they announced like at least a year in advance. Like even like Breath of the Wild, that got announced like 2019, and now we're just getting it 2023.
Yeah.
So
So I think when we talk about Nintendo, we have a Nintendo episode focused on Nintendo and what's going on this year. We'll talk about that further.
but I think that's it for the news. Unless there's anything you guys wanted to add, but
Tears of the Kingdom,
yeah, that's kind of big news. I mean,
a little bit.
but no, they had did they announce the release date of it, or
May
was it-
12th of 2023.
Did that just get announced at the direct? Or was
No,
it-
I think it was a hard date, or it was maybe just a month of the
It
year.
was just a soft date before, like just 2023, but we didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
any date.
I thought it said May before, but I could be wrong.
Maybe.
I think maybe they did announce it earlier, but they gave us a new trailer for it, which
And
is kind of
Ganondorf
another
is gonna be in it.
Another teaser there, but
It won't just be Ganon; it'll be Ganondorf, I think. I've read.
What's the difference between the two of them?
I think Ganondorf is more like the humanoid version.
solid.
Yeah.
Like hands like a spirit.
Yeah, basically. So
Interesting.
it's made in the Breath of the Wild engine. So I think it's gonna be, amazing, of course. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to play that.
Yep.
So, but also one last point about that too is I don't think you have a Sheikah Slate. I think that was more focused on Breath of the Wild, and I don't think that's in Tears of the Kingdom. I think I saw something where like Link has like a something like sleeve utility or something that he uses in place of like the Sheikah Slate.
Oh, really?
And then there's like 3 different areas. You have like the above ground area, kind of like Skyward Sword, and then you have Hyrule, and then I think there's like an underground area too. Maybe 3 different areas that you can traverse in. So
Is this this one going to be a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild? Same
Yes.
link and everything? 'Cause I know a lot of them they're anthological. Well, not anthological. But,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
they're-
similar
None
to-
of them are like direct sequels besides like Majora's Mask.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be like. From Majora's Mask being a sequel to Ocarina of Time, I think it's the same thing.
Okay.
Very cool. So we're gonna do a little guessing game on Tears of the Kingdom. What score do you think? Or I'll say over under 90.
Over.
Over.
Yeah,
Everybody's
so
over.
You got bad line. You'd be losing a lot of money as a
Yeah.
as
How
a,
about over under
betting company.
95?
Over.
Over.
Over 95.
I think it's going to be like a 97, 98.
I was
Wow.
thinking 97. Yeah, I
Well,
thought
what
Breath of the Wild would be
get?
at 97.
Breath of the Wild, that was like a 97, 98.
Yeah, it'll probably be something.
We get a fact check on that? Or?
Yeah, I think it was like
Okay.
97. But
Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah,
I
so
feel like it'd
next
probably be
topic is, so we're going to talk about Hogwarts Legacy, which just came out because Jared, Brett, and I, we all started playing it. I'm only like an hour or 2 in. I think you guys are...
He's a lot further than me.
I'm like 8 hours in. I think.
And I'm like 4 hours in.
Okay.
Which that's with a lot of like story wise. I'm not sure
97%.
what percent it goes.
97. Okay. Yeah. So we think it's going to hit that same
I think it's
level.
going to be better. So.
Better. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So I guess what house did you get when you
Okay, so yeah, let's do the houses. So when I did the wizardingworld.com, because you can link your account there, I did a quiz there and it gave me Gryffindor. But then when I booted up the game, it was giving me some error that it wouldn't connect to that. And so I just went with the in-game. So I got up to the point where I got sorted into my house and I went into the common room and I started talking to a few people. And that's kind of as far as I got. So I got through the opening
And what house did you get?
mission. I got Hufflepuff.
Okay. That's as far as
Which
you
it
got.
says, yeah, the game says that they are like patience, loyalty, and hardworking. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much me. So
Yeah. So I did the Wizarding World thing too, like a long time ago. I got Slytherin, and then I got sorted into Slytherin. So I thought it was really cool. And Slytherin's like ambitious, cunning. I think they're the top two qualities of a Slytherin person. So I was really happy with that. And I'm about
Trying to look at Marvel Village.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, and I'm about like maybe like a couple of hours past where Scott is. So my initial impression, I think the world is great. I think there's a lot of detail, and a lot of people talk about like Elden Ring, Scott, where like the open world people weren't doing like the main story, they're just running around and just exploring. Whereas I think I was doing the same thing in Hogwarts, where I just wanted to run around the house and see what kind of like items you can get and just explore all this detail that they have. I think the story is kind of just like blah. I'm not really impressed with it so far. I think it's kind of just like cut and dry. I think all the characters seem the same, really. I haven't really met a character that seems like, kind of like edgy or kind of interesting at this point. So, but I didn't buy it for the story. I bought it for just the role playing and being in that world, because there's been no game like that in that world, like ever, like the way that it's made. So
yeah, so I'm really excited to hear that.
Just the role you're playing, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear the open world part of it, like.
Yeah, you in it, but you want to. So
yeah, so that's gonna be really cool. Jared, how about you? What was your
I got Ravenclaw. A funny thing is I did a quiz like years ago that wasn't on the Wizarding World website. That I got Ravenclaw on that too. So I think
Team Ravenclaw, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eric did the quiz
yeah,
too.
Eric-
Yeah, I just did the quiz. I didn't actually do the game,
But he got Ravenclaw,
Yeah.
so Ravenclaws unite. I don't know what you guys are doing.
these
but,
guys are dumb. That we're wise. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever.
shit.
what are your guys' qualities again?
Excellent wisdom, wit, and a skill for learning.
Wisdom.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of books lately, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are your impressions?
I really like the game. I think it's what I've wanted out of a Harry Potter game as far as the feel of it and the tone. Like I've played the Lego Harry Potter games and they don't feel the same.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think the graphics look great. Voice acting's good. I think the combat is good too. I don't know how far you've gotten into it, but there is a lot of like the combat has some depth to it. I'll say that. I don't want to like spoil anything. for
Like
you,
combos or
Yeah.
okay.
There's like combos, certain things you can do.
Can you switch in and out spells? Okay. Can you switch in and out of spells and things like that?
Like how you have your oh my god, your shape buttons. Your shape buttons, like how you switch those in and out. Yeah, like that's
Can you tell them about like a big Harry
oh
Potter?
god.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically it's what you have equipped. I haven't tried to change what I have equipped, like when I'm in an engagement, but I'm not sure if you can do that or not, but you can switch them out, but I just don't know if you can in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting in the opening. Like, I really enjoyed the opening sequence where, the fact that you start as a fifth year student.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, that's actually a really good starting point, because it's like, you've got your character's gonna have a little bit of experience. They're like, oh, we kind of helped catch you up a little bit over the summer, and then there's a little bit of mystery as to like why are you the only person who's gotten selected like so late, kind of like an Anakin or
Yeah, like
whatever.
you don't really. I don't
Oh.
think you really have like a. Do they even flesh out your character's origin really? Like,
No.
were you like Muggle born or like?
Yeah, which I wish they would have explained a little bit more.
There
like
might
your-
be.
like
I don't know. They might explore that later.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it'll
Well,
be interesting. To
Can I add to that point, Scott? Because think about like we all played, I think, Marvel Spider-Man when it came out in 2018, and the developers said from Insomniac that they don't want you playing as like before Spider-Man Peter Parker. They can just get into the game and start playing.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of the fifth year thing where you're not learning how to use a wand and you're already pretty much ready to go, basically. But you're gonna learn stuff as you go through the game like a normal person would.
You don't have your own wand though, doesn't I can't
They
remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Professor Fig gives you a wand and teaches you your first spell.
At the beginning.
Yeah, but you know like the basic spell though, like the
I guess
normal R2 attack.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I'd have to play it again. I don't know. I wasn't able to really like pay attention while I was playing because I don't know. Maybe it was just like the excitement. I mean, as lame as that sounds, I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but I've always wanted to play
Harry Potter and Star Wars, huh? Like you do.
I've always wanted to play like a Harry Potter game that fit what I think this game is fitting. Where it's, I mean, it's basically what it has that like school experience that like we all, if you guys have played Bully, like feels similar to that.
Persona 5. They got ruined for you.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I just think that I wasn't able to really focus because I'm just like, let me just. I mean, maybe that's bad on my part, but
okay.
Anyway, yeah.
So I think I think we're all enjoying it, and then once we get through the game more, then we can give our final thoughts on it. I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add, Scott?
Not too much because like I said, I'm only like an hour into the game, so.
Okay.
What do you think about the? I'm just curious because it does kind of have
Go ahead,
an interesting way to approach like XP gains. Like, what do you think about how they did that? Like, where it's basically tied to like doing quests and things like that. You don't get it from like.
I think that's fine. It's like, it probably helps so that you don't like over level and the game becomes too easy. I bet it was something balancing like that because I've played some games like that where, like Dragon Age Inquisition, it's so big. It's like if you actually go and do everything, you're so over leveled, like it's ridiculous. And so I don't know. Maybe that was a way to stop that. So I think it's probably a decent idea. Again, I haven't gotten to experience leveling up to see how it is, but that's kind of my initial thoughts on it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so let's go to another game that came out recently, Dead Space. So who of us has been playing that?
I think both of us have.
Okay, nothing from Eric.
So I never played the original one.
We'll get to Eric, don't worry.
Yeah, so I never played the original one. I did see it in like an old magazine back in the day, and I thought it looked really cool. That pseudo, we talked about this before, like the armor is like super cool, and like for you, I'm sure it's very nostalgic, being able to wear that again. I'm not a big fan of like horror games and scary games, but I'm like, man, this is Dead Space. It's clearly acclaimed. Everybody knows what it is, basically. And so I've been playing it. Like Jared's been kind of like watching me play it, and I feel like I think my game's screwed because I can't like advance because I have like no ammo or health. So I feel like I'm like at a weird point. Like I can't even advance the game, and I can't take that fun away from me. But I think it's from what I've played, I think it's pretty cool. But it might not be the game that like I'm like, man, I'm obsessed with it, playing it all the time.
I feel like it's like Resident Evil 2 though, where like if you do try to push through, like it knows when you're like not like low on ammo and stuff, and then it'll like give you more. I feel like because I remember playing through like the original game, like I haven't played the remake at all, but yeah, I never had too much of a problem with it, but.
Yeah, I know Jared's like the big Dead Space guy. He's played all of them. So, what are your thoughts?
I think the remake, if you haven't played the original, I would say now is like the perfect time to get into the series. I think they did a great job. I was a little skeptical about adding a voice to Isaac, but I think that they did it perfectly where it meshes well with how it was in 2 and 3. Gunnar Wright sounds exactly as he does in 2 and 3. He's doing a terrific performance. I mean, it sounds like Isaac, and they did it really well with his speaking parts. It doesn't sound like they forced it in or anything like that. And you actually get to know a little bit more about Isaac as far as his knowledge and things like that, instead of just being like, oh, he's an engineer, blah blah blah. Like he shows his not his intelligence, but his skills and talents in that profession like throughout the game. So I mean, I think if you haven't played the original games and you've been interested, I would say definitely jump into it now because the remake is, I think, probably one of the best remakes I've ever played of any game. I know that's saying a lot because I think Shadow of the Colossus was great.
RE2.
Resident Evil 2 I think was great. So I mean it's.
Final Fantasy 7.
I didn't play Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
7,
that was
but
great.
I heard a lot of good stuff about it.
was
But
good.
of the ones that I've played, I would say that I like Dead Space Remake more than I do Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Okay.
Shadow of the Colossus, I have a lot of nostalgia for that one, but I think I still think Dead Space Remake is better than Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay, so
'Cause they added to it in a way that
Yeah.
added to the game
Okay, so I've beaten
very well.
the first Dead Space twice.
Yeah.
Do you think that I would get value from it? Do you think I would get enjoyment from it for going through this remake?
I mean, I haven't beat the remake yet, but I have. I mean, I went
Okay.
through and I beat that game multiple times. I got the
Okay.
platinum trophy. I mean, not to
Okay.
be like, oh, it's so cool.
No,
I got
that's
the platinum
pretty cool.
trophy. But I mean, that means I beat it on the hardest difficulty. You know, I did everything. I beat that game. I feel like such a lame saying that.
I got the platinum.
I got the
No,
platinum
I think-
trophy, guys.
No, that's good.
But no,
Yeah,
like I'm
brag
getting
about
something
it.
from it.
That's
So I
fine.
feel like anybody who has played the original release and has played it 2 times or however many times,
Yeah.
I feel like they've done enough to where I think you can play this one and enjoy it. Now, that being said, the original holds up still, I think, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, graphically, obviously, it's not. You can tell looking at it that it is an older game, but gameplay wise, I mean, they had a really solid formula with that. Because obviously it was based off of Resident Evil 4. I think that was one of the main inspirations on like the gameplay.
Okay.
For
Which
the,
is interesting. There's going to be an RE4 remake coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
March, I think. March.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. But I mean, the fact that you could move and aim at the same time, that was a game changer when Dead Space came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely say if you've ever been interested, I'd say pick it up. If you have played it, I'd say pick it up. I think there
Nice.
is something to gain from it, even if you have played the original.
All right.
Sounds good.
That sounds awesome. Okay, so from here, I kind of want to segue into, we're going to talk a little bit about PlayStation and some.
His game.
Oh yeah, Eric. That's right. We said we were going to get to you. So is Overwatch Season 3 update?
Oh yeah. So they updated with Season 3. Not a whole lot of balancing improvements.
Oh, can I stop you really quick?
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem that excited about Season 3. I know you were kind of like, thinking like, oh, this could be a really good update to the game. So you're not like, what's your thoughts?
So there was a lot of things I complained about in our last episode about balancing issues, microtransactions, all that, and so still skins cost like $20. But they are giving you coins now for your battle pass, even if you don't buy it. So you can basically earn like a battle pass almost if you get all the way up to the next level.
Like Fortnite.
Yeah, basically like Fortnite or Apex Legends, and basically the battle pass pay for itself. That's cool, but then they still have a lot of skins locked outside of the battle pass that you have to just buy for like $20 a piece. But I guess you can use the coins you earn from the battle pass to buy one if you want. One a season, but still doesn't seem all that great when you were able to get every skin in the old game without paying any money. But
No new like heroes or anything.
Did they have new heroes this season? No.
I didn't hear anything. I know
I don't think they had a new hero.
They added that
this season.
tank in Season 2, right?
Yeah, Ramatro Season 2, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, they don't even have no new hero, but they did have a new map. I haven't gotten to play it yet, just because I haven't gotten in my rotation yet.
Yeah.
So, I want to check out that new map, but balancing issues, not much to speak of on that front, but still,
Are you disappointed?
too many snipers in the game. You can't win without a sniper still, so.
Yeah. So you're disappointed in Season 3 then?
Well, yeah. Also, they keep every new season they drop you like 10 ranks to start the season. Except some people don't get dropped 10 ranks, which annoys the hell out of me, because then I have to keep working my way back up. But anyways, I digress. But no, the fucking just balancing issues still. So hopefully they'll fix it at some point here. But I don't know, my hopes up too high for them. It's fucking Activision, so.
So would you recommend a new player getting Overwatch? Should they jump in now or keep on waiting?
Yeah, I'd probably jump in now. I mean, I'm still playing Overwatch like 6 years later, so.
Okay.
Yeah. You need some new players to beat up on, so.
I mean, it's just like any other fucking FPS. People fucking bitch about them, but they keep playing them like Call of Duty and shit.
See, I didn't like that 'cause we were talking about Overwatch when it came out, and you get to like level 50 and like what the casual before you get into the competition or something. Yeah, win 50 games, right?
Yeah, I think there's 150 games on this one. Like
So
the
I
last
can't-
one, you had to get to level 25 on the first one.
Yeah. So even if I want to play with you, who you play competitive all the time, I can't even play with you. I can't even. I gotta win 50 games.
Yeah, I
And
can't play.
now it's 5v5, so it's more
Yeah,
team
but you gotta-
oriented as before.
You gotta
I
win.
mean, I couldn't play
Yeah.
with them like in Overwatch 1 either because my rank was so low, so, I mean.
Yeah, we
It's
have,
the same.
we have that issue a lot with like the people we play with,
Yeah.
where there's a lot of guys that are too low ranked to play with Dominic. So.
Well, so you play on PlayStation, right? PS5.
Uh-huh.
How do you guys play? Is it crossplay?
Yeah, we just use like the party chat and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like the game chat.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Exactly. I know you've been playing on your PS5's in your living room on your big TV, which makes sense.
But the thing about the whole like not being able to play with higher ranked is I think that's part of the reason where they drop you at the start of the season, so you can kind of get into parties with your friends, and then like after like because you have to play like 5 games to rank up. After like the 5 games, if they leave you in the dust, they leave you in the dust. But they kind of do that, I think, so you can play with your friends to start the season every season. But
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I got it.
Cool. All right, so let's segue into this week, since we got our special guest Jared on, who is also very PlayStation experty. We've got we're gonna talk a little bit about what you guys are excited for in the next year of PlayStation. So I guess the first question I'll ask is, okay, games that are gonna be coming out in the next year, like from first party publishers. What do we think is going to be coming out this year?
The next year or this year?
Yeah.
So we're talking about first party. So okay.
Sunny
Yeah.
games.
You want to talk about first party?
PlayStation.
You kidding me?
Game.
Well, I think the big one is Marvel Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
and by Insomniac Games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are still committed to a 2023 release date. We
That would
all
be
played the first
I would
one.
love that.
We both had the platinum in the first
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. I trust anything Insomniac does with their games. I know Jared already said about Wolverine, but I think that'll be a 2024 game.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, I think it's going to be kind of like a mature rating too.
They said that they said that that's what it was looking
I
like.
believe it.
So I think that's.
Which I think it should be.
Yeah, I mean, he has metal claws that stab.
Yeah, like in
people,
the in the cartoon, like he could always get his ass kicked by humanoid people or whatever. But like once it was like up to like Sentinels, and he's like ripping them apart and shit. You know, because obviously you can't be like ripping people apart, ripping human beings and shit. So
I mean,
he just get his ass kicked.
I mean, besides that, honestly,
Was Final Fantasy exclusive?
I think it is.
The new
Okay.
one.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, I
talk
think
about
it is.
exclusives to PlayStation.
Yeah, but see, I'm talking about first parties.
Yeah.
Guerrilla Games just released Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Are they working on Call of the Mountain for? I'm assuming they are, right? For
That's
PSVR 2.
Probably. Yeah.
So they'll have that coming out with the VR. I think it's a launch title of the VR 2.
Mhm.
It's coming out later this month.
That's not going to be on VR 1, right?
I don't think so. I think it's built for the VR 2. Naughty Dog. Maybe a Last of Us multiplayer, but I don't see. I don't know. I'm not. I don't really know. Well, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was looking for exclusive, so I was
Oh,
Do we hear anything from Sucker Punch? Probably not. For Ghost of Tsushima 2.
You think for sure that's what they're working on?
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic remake exclusive?
Yeah.
I've heard there's some issues with that because I think they changed developers from Aspire to somebody else.
Really?
So yeah, I'm not sure when we're gonna get any more news on that, but
Yeah. Let's see.
And the list is looking kind of weak. I think it's because they released like a lot of games this year, like their big titles.
Yeah.
They load pretty early.
Well, I think about it too. Like I think Jason Schreier said that if any game start development now, and I think it was like a year ago tweet, that it would be ready by PlayStation 6. Like games have such a long development cycle now that you may only get one big title every console generation, which sucks for us because
it's basically like one good year for every generation.
And well, that's why I think you're
Really
seeing
good
teams, these developers making two, or studios have like two different teams, like an A team and a B team. You know, for that they can make two games simultaneously, share resources, share information. So I'm looking at like Polyphony. They're doing Gran Turismo 7 for the VR too. But like for PlayStation 5, I don't know what Blue Point's working on. They're not a first party.
Aren't they working on
wait, did they get bought by? They didn't get bought by Sony, right?
I'm not sure.
Dude, I thought they did. Didn't they like a year?
Bungie did. Oh, you might look that up.
They might have.
Maybe you're right.
Because we were like super hyped about it.
Well, I know I was hyped about. I know Scott was probably mad, but they bought Bungie.
I remember. I was gonna ask you, what do you think Bungie's gonna do? That was gonna be.
I think that. Well, I think are they pushing that Destiny 2 new expansion?
Okay.
So I know they're working on it.
They're just gonna keep doing.
I think they're still pumping. Which would be.
This month, actually.
I think you're right. I think the first leg or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I haven't played Destiny since 2017.
Yeah, dude. 2021. Their parent company has been PlayStation Studios from 2021.
Okay.
So I wonder what they're working on. I'm not really
I thought
sure.
they were working on an original like IP.
What if they're working on Bloodborne?
I don't think Bloodborne's old enough for that.
I know. I said that like in 2020 or 2019 when we did our first.
Remake of Bloodborne?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Bloodborne 2, but it'd be a remake.
It's not old enough for that.
I don't. If I said Bloodborne 2, I'm sorry. But yeah, like a remake, PS5, 60 frames a second. But I doubt that's happening.
It's
But like, I'm kind of drawing a blank on what else the other studios could be working on. Media Molecule, I think, is still with Dreams, I guess. They took such a long time for that game.
Do you think there's gonna be any more studio acquisitions that they're gonna try to get?
Any more acquisitions.
Man,
I would love if they bought fucking FromSoft. I'd love that.
well, they do have. I think they do have shares in their parent company, but that probably won't ever happen. That'd be sweet though.
I mean, FromSoft's probably worth
If-
a lot more after
If Activision Blizzard goes through with Microsoft, I'd love to see Sony buy Capcom. Street Fighter's exclusive series to PlayStation, I think. I don't think it's on
Okay.
Xbox. I don't think Street Fighter is. Is it on Xbox?
I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
I don't play that game. So.
Yeah, me neither. But I was gonna buy Capcom and get Resident Evil and Mega Man, and under that umbrella. But really, I think it's gonna be a low year for PlayStation. Honestly, I think Nintendo is really gonna be the publisher for this year. I think it's gonna be the year that Nintendo basically, like Eric said, as they move from the Switch to next gen, which I think is coming pretty soon. Now they're gonna be 7 years inside the cycle.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft might have a chance. Obviously, with you guys are both hyped about Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
I said on the last episode that I might even build a PC for Starfield. But I mean, Jared, what do you think? Like, I don't know anything else that would really,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. There's not too much coming out exclusives wise for PlayStation that I'm very hyped about. Besides Wolverine, I'm not even as hyped about Spider-Man 2, to be honest.
Why is that? Did Miles Morales kind of burn you?
I never
out?
played Miles Morales.
It burned me out.
I got burned out of the first Spider-Man game, to be honest. It just wasn't. I don't know. Like it was a very cool.
Cliffhanger didn't really like.
I didn't even finish it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I liked it a lot when I first played it.
I'm hyped for it.
And then I kind of got like bored of it. But as far as like Wolverine, like I'm into that a lot because I've always like, as far as Marvel, Wolverine's like one of my favorite characters in the universe. So I'm more hyped about that than I am Spider-Man. Just in general. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I like the X-Men a lot.
I like
You
Cyclops.
need another drink of
Cyclops
water?
is cool.
Cyclops.
But yeah, so there isn't very much that's coming out that I'm too hyped.
What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm not that hyped about Spider-Man either. I kind of got burnt out on the first one as well. Like, I ended up beating it, but towards the end, I was like, I'm tired of swinging around the city. But
That's not to take anything away from it, though. I mean, they did a great job with it.
Yeah, that was good.
It's one of the earliest games where like they changed, like they had multiple voice tracks for Peter Parker from when you're swinging around and shit. You can hear the exertion when he's talking to people and things like that, which I thought was really cool. And I know in the Dead Space remake they did that as well for Isaac when he's speaking. I think if you're low health, he sounds more strained.
Yeah.
So I mean that's very cool. I mean, but I don't know. Like they did some good things with that game, but as far as like just playing it gameplay wise, I mean I don't know. It never really like caught me fully.
Yeah, I really got into it because it was the first game I played on my PlayStation when I got PlayStation 4 too, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love the combat, and I love the reimagined New York City. I can fly around the whole city or whatever. I do hope they expanded a little bit more because I know with Miles Morales they just took the same city and then they like did some new animations for some different skills.
Would you say that the Miles Morales, I mean this is like old news, but a lot of people said that it's basically, it could have been just an expansion for the original game?
Exactly, because it's shorter, like it's only like 5-10 hours, like the main campaign.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't know it was that short. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I am excited for Venom though. I think Venom was teased from the first one, and now it's confirmed it's going to be in the next one. I'm super hyped about Eddie Brock being as Venom again.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
that's something to look forward to. I mean, I think that would be cool. That would add a good dynamic to the game.
Wait, was that Harry Osborn at the end of the first one?
Yes.
That saw the Venom symbiote?
I think so. So I think we could see some
Spoiler
Green
alert.
Goblin.
It's been over 5 years.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't think of anything else that I'm really hyped about. Like God of War, Ragnarok came out, Sony Santa Monica, Sony San Diego. You know, the show is on every single console. Are you getting the show this year?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other big studio that they have that would really excite me that I know is coming out this year. And a lot of it is just going to be multi-plat. You know, we talked about this, you know, a couple weeks ago with, you know, Diablo 4, which would be multi-plat.
Really excited for that.
But then you brought Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, so I was gonna go into that next with the Final Fantasy stuff because that's historically been like PlayStation, very long, has like exclusive before it goes on to other platforms. So Final Fantasy 16 is coming out this year. Do we have a hard release date on that?
June 22nd.
Okay. So I'm pretty hyped for it. You know, just having played Final Fantasy VII Remake and loving that one so much. That's like my first 3D Final Fantasy that I played. Like I played some of the 2D ones. Like I played the Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 4, and I actually went back and I replayed the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy 1, but I hadn't played the original Final Fantasy 7 or any after that, and I picked up 7 Remake and I loved it. And so I'm really excited for the sequel to that, but I'm also going to play Final Fantasy 16, I think, because I thought that looked pretty cool in the trailers that I've seen. So, what about you guys? Do you think you're going to pick up Final Fantasy 16?
I don't know about day one.
Might still be playing Zelda at that point.
Yeah, you said June?
June 22nd. What's Zelda? That's like
May 12th.
should be done about it by then.
Man. Final Fantasy 15, I beat that game. I thought it was, but I got it on sale. I bought like on Black Friday when me and you went to like GameStop or something. And I don't know, like I don't think so. I don't think I'll buy it day one.
No?
I might wait for a sale.
Okay. I'll have to let you know how it is when I play it.
Yeah. How about you, Jared?
I always think that I'm gonna love a Final Fantasy game, and then I play it and I get burnt out. It's the turn-based combat. To me, it's just not engaging enough. I know that they changed them, the newest games, but I haven't given them the time of day yet. Maybe if I played them, I'd like them.
JRPGs aren't typically your type.
Yeah, besides like, you know, a select few games from when I was like, you know, like Golden Sun, things like that.
Fire.
I never played the Fire Emblem. I think I played a little bit of one of the Fire Emblems.
Well, Scott, you can play Final Fantasy 15, I think, with the PlayStation Plus collection for free.
Okay.
If you have Plus.
Okay.
You just make sure you add it to your
Yeah,
library.
I know they had it on Game Pass too, Final Fantasy
Oh, okay.
15, and I had tried it out, and I didn't quite get into it because there were so many other games, and it's such a big, long game that I just didn't really have the time to
Yeah, it took me
commit
about
to
35
playing
hours.
it. Yeah.
About 35 hours to beat it.
Okay. That's not as bad as I thought it was.
No, you can get pretty quick.
Yeah, probably I'm still going to be more excited for when the second part of Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out, which was announced last year. And so it's going to be called Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is going to be the second part of it. So I'm curious to see, like, if they're going to open this thing up even more, be more open world than what Final Fantasy VII Remake was, because Final Fantasy VII Remake was more open zone, where you're in these different zones that you're exploring, and then it kind of kept you on the linear path when you wanted to continue. But then I know in the original Final Fantasy VII, the world does open up a lot more, where you can go, like, there's a whole huge world map. So I'm curious if they stick to more of the open zone approach, where they're going through the campaign linearly, or if they're gonna do open world stuff.
Okay.
But
I do have a quick question. This just shows my ignorance of the series, but 7, they're going to be expanding on what was there in the original release, right? As far as like making it, it's supposed to be a trilogy, or
Yes.
I think 3
new
games.
ones?
Yeah, they said it's gonna be 3 games,
and they're going to actually like create more story than what was in the original game.
Oh yeah,
or am I
because the
wrong?
first part 1.
But it wasn't the
First
whole.
25
It wasn't
yeah.
the whole Final Fantasy VII in part 1.
No,
though,
it
right?
was like the first 5 hours of the game.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was like just the Midgard part, which was the opening. Like it was like 10% of the game.
That's what Colin,
So
So-
Colin said that too.
but-
yeah.
It's only a small part of the game.
But outside of like just adding stuff to basically pad, smaller sections of the game, are they actually gonna? Did they say anything about like? Are they going to be changing? Like, is it going to be?
Well, they did
Is it gonna take place
change some
a little bit
things
longer? Are they
from
gonna make the story
from what
longer?
I understand, they did change some things from the original story. Like, there's some characters that died in the original that we had some teasers that they might still be alive in this one, and just the way that it ended, they kind of opened it up to we've maybe changed the timeline or something. So
Okay.
they could do some course variant stuff, but I think I've heard in like interviews that they are gonna still kind of try to stick to the same narrative course as the original, but there might be some variations in
Okay.
there.
I was just curious if
Yeah.
it like derail or anything.
No, those are good questions.
Well,
Because I mean, I've been interested to play 7 because it
Yeah.
is like a classic,
Mhm.
not even like a classic Final Fantasy game. It's a classic game. Period.
Yeah.
It's a big part of like gaming history. So I mean, I do want to play it, the original and the remake.
Yeah.
I'm just curious how much is like if they're adding, like how much they're adding
Yeah,
to the remake story.
it's a lot.
so let me segue to like Eric too. Eric, your PlayStation 5. Anything you're excited about?
No, not really.
And why is that? Spider-Man.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean,
They just haven't announced anything big. I mean,
Besides
Spider-Man's
Wolverine.
big, but I'm not really that hyped for it. I mean,
So
Wolverine's a ways out. I can't really
Yeah.
say I'm excited for that at this point.
So this is my last question for this conversation here. Is that we know that Nintendo had a direct a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
We know Microsoft had a developer.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Developer conversation or conference or
Yeah,
whatever.
they called it a developer conference,
Okay.
I think it was.
Does Sony need? Not that they could. Do they need to have some type of state of play or whatever you want to call it to get gamers hyped about their platform coming to 2023? And I'm meaning soon, not waiting until some random day in May or April. Like, do they need one soon? And go around the
I
table.
mean, with the Nintendo Direct and the Xbox Developer Conference that just recently happened, they were showing games that are going to be coming out within like the next 6 months. So they just took a select few games and they're like, okay, here's what's coming soon. But since we're saying that PlayStation probably doesn't have anything in the next 6 months, I don't know that they need to, unless they wanted to tease some games that are like, yeah, these are in the works, but it's going to be a couple
coming,
years.
2031.
I mean, that's what Xbox does in their summer game shows, where they'll like announce a ton of games that get people hyped up, and then they wait like 4 or 5 years before they actually come out.
So do they need one or no? Do they need one to get gamers?
I don't think they need one. I think it would be cool to see, just because I think I always like seeing those.
Eric, do they need one?
Yeah, kind of. They need to at least like announce something like big that's upcoming, because you gotta have something to look forward to. And I don't really like games getting announced way ahead of time, but it's always nice to just have like one big one
to look forward to.
about, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like the issue I got with Nintendo right now, is they got nothing like announced far ahead. But you know, it's always nice to just have like one or two.
Sure.
Yeah.
If they, I mean, I think that I think they would need one, but only if they're actually working on something. I mean, I feel like they've already shown what they're working on. I know there's like the game that Blue Point's working on. I mean, who knows what that is? That'd be great if it was like a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, or even a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
What, 2?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like 2, I think, was a really good game, but I think 1 or 3, I think, would probably be better bets as far as like getting people hyped.
So you think they need one, like just to get players? I feel like we're kind of like all like, we don't know what they're working on, so it's kind of like besides VR2.
Yeah, I feel like they've already revealed, like we already know what's in their deck right now of like what they're actually working on, but you know what to expect coming out in the near future and things like that. They haven't really, like, there's nothing like, I can't wait till 3 years from now when blah 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 comes out. You know what I mean? The only thing I can think of like that is Wolverine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything that's coming out.
Is Armored Core 6 gonna be PlayStation exclusive?
No. Was that on Xbox at all?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It's gonna be huge, because people are now all from Software Sims, so it's gonna be a crazy game. It's gonna sell a lot. I'm excited for it. I played the demo, I think, at one of them back in the day, but I never played an actual
I
game.
think I played a demo one, and I played on PC. I had like Mech Warrior. I'm not exactly sure how. I don't know. I was a kid when I played that demo, but
so let me ask one more last question.
Why not?
Okay, sorry.
I honestly feel like Armored Core 6 is not going to meet expectations. I mean, people are thinking FromSoft, they're thinking Elden Ring, they're thinking all the other, the Soulsborne games. I don't think it's going to meet the expectations that they're wanting. It doesn't have, co-op or anything like that. Do I think it'll be a bad game? No, I think it'll be probably a fun game. I'm interested to pick it up, but I think people looking for like a Souls-like experience, obviously, I mean, even FromSoft has said it's not going to be a Souls-like. But I think people, obviously, there's a lot of people on the bandwagon of like, FromSoft Sims. They're just like gonna like jump on anything that they're gonna come out with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is gonna leave some people, or some people are probably gonna not want to stick with it. I mean, so who knows? But yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to that, to actually playing an Armored Core game, and it is like a somewhat of a soft reboot, which I think every game in the series, like none of them are direct sequels.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
Mech games, like
Yeah.
we had, like Titanfall was several years ago. I know
Which
back with,
wasn't there a Titanfall 3 that recently just
got canceled?
Yeah.
Canceled.
Which that really sucks, because I mean, I was late. I was a late adopter of the Titanfall series. I played Titanfall 2, and I actually really liked it.
Yeah,
And that was like well after release.
Yeah.
And I was hoping for a Titanfall 3, and that really sucks that it got canceled.
Yeah, I think Apex Legends ruined that.
Yeah. Fuck Apex Legends.
So my last question is, my last question for the table is to be a straight up, what game? So Scott, going, counterclockwise, what's one game that Sony would announce, that's first party maybe, that you would be excited about for 20?
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't be 2023, but what's one game that you will be looking forward to?
Elden Ring 2.
Okay.
Is that something?
Oh, that's not Sony though, is it?
Well, he forgot the part where like
Okay.
they announced that they bought From Software.
Okay, let me rephrase the
Yeah.
question for you then. Do any of the games, what game would excite you? Like, you know what? We all own PS5s.
Oh,
But is there any game
It's probably just Spider-Man 2. I mean,
Spider-Man
I
2?
want more Marvel stuff. I want them to make a Marvel universe. So when Wolverine comes out, I want another Marvel character too. So give me another Marvel character game.
Fair
Which
enough.
Marvel character?
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Morpheus.
Iron Man. I think
Professor
there is some
Xavier.
kind of Iron Man game that's in the works, but I don't know that it's going to be connected to what
yeah.
Sony's doing. Doctor Strange is cool. I like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric?
I want a new series from Naughty Dog.
So you don't want Last of Us
New
Part
IP.
3.
A new IP?
You don't.
Like
Yeah, you want a brand new IP.
Yep.
Okay. So you don't want Uncharted 5. You don't, which they said they're not working on. And you don't care about Last of Us Part 3. You want a brand new.
No Last of Us. Give me something.
So you have faith in Naughty Dog, but you want a brand new. Tell me. Okay.
something fresh.
Gotcha. Jared.
I mean, other than Wolverine, I mean, I think as far as like a new announcement that we don't know about, I hate saying it, but I think like a, well, I guess it would be a FromSoft game, like a Bloodborne 2 maybe. I think it would be great if Bluepoint announced that they were working on like a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake or something like that. I think they'd do very good with that. As far as like new IPs, obviously new IPs are always something good to look out for. I don't know what studio I'd want to have. I think Naughty Dog would be a good one to start a new IP. I don't want any of the, well, not that I don't want any, but I would want it to be like a different set of people in Naughty Dog than just like the ones that made like The Last of Us and.
So you don't want Neil Druckmann directing everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because it would probably have a very similar feel. Like think about playing the Uncharted series and then playing The Last of Us. Like they feel very different.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're not the same tonally or anything like that. Now I do like the more mature tone of The Last of Us. So maybe a game in that same vein, but definitely something that has different influences. So maybe a different team part of Naughty Dog, but I don't know. I'd love to hear a new IP coming out, but who knows? I mean, like I said, I feel like they've already revealed everything in their hands, so I don't. Who knows? Unless they're keeping something.
Have they said they're working on Last of Us 3 or?
Neil Druckmann came out and said that if there was a story to tell, he would.
Okay, so
Yeah, I
it
think-
sounds hopeful, so it could be a new IP.
Have you watched the new episodes of Last of Us, the TV show?
No,
You fell
I
off.
watched like the first.
I watched the
episode and a
first
half.
episode.
Yeah, I watched the first episode.
And you guys liked it, or?
It was alright.
I like Walking Dead better after just one episode.
A lot of
Just
people
one
are saying
episode.
that it's.
But I don't think it's Walking Dead though.
I'd rather just play the game. It's like watching the game.
I mean,
I'd rather just play
it's
it.
not
The
be
first
It
two episodes
changes.
were basically shot for shots,
Yeah.
and then episode 3
No.
was like convert.
I know episode
That's
2 is
what I heard.
different.
Is it?
Episode 2 is different.
I haven't watched it.
I watched.
I have HBO and I was thinking about it, but I haven't watched
My
it.
wife, I mean, she loves the show. Never played the game. She played part 2 with me, but part 1 she never, because I was living at home in 2016 when me and you were playing through it again,
Yeah.
and she got really into it. So for me, last final thing for PlayStation is that if it was me, I was seeing an Ico remake, from Gen Design. So or Team
Yeah,
Ico.
you
back in the
know
day.
what? Honestly, I forgot. I mean, I know Gen Design is working on a game. They have been for a while. I am interested in that, but there's been no announcements as far as I know. So
But that would get me hyped.
that
And
would
then
get me hyped. Yeah.
the one studio I would want would be Sony Santa Monica, headed by Cory Barlog, and that sci-fi game I think I mentioned on a previous Gamescast. Yeah, I think he's working as a creative director. So there's a documentary. I don't want to belabor this point, but he's working on a documentary for the Making of God of War 2018, and they had a sci-fi game kind of written and kind of working on.
That they
and
kind of shelved for.
They
God of War.
shelved for God of War. And I
That would
think
be interesting.
and I
That would
think-
get me hyped.
And I think Cory Barlog, I know Eric likes him too, is he was not the creative director of God of War Ragnarok as Eric Williams. I think he's working on that. So
Oh, you think that's
Well,
why he wasn't?
I like the story in God of War 1 better than 2. I didn't know it was a different director though.
it was not Cory Barlog was I think an executive producer on it. So I think that would get me hyped as a PlayStation fan.
Yeah.
I think Ico will be sweet.
That
but-
sounds interesting. I think the biggest thing is they need to have a new IP.
Yeah.
Well, all their IPs that were old school, like Spyro and Crash, are now with supposedly going to be Microsoft.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay.
All right. Cool. I think that's all we had for today. Thank you guys for listening. Anybody who was, please like our videos. Subscribe to us if you're not subscribed, then you can get alerts whenever we come on with future Gamecasts.
Give us your opinions on all the talking points that we had.
And Hogwarts,
That's
if you're
right,
playing
yeah.
it came out
Yeah,
officially today.
Yeah, what do you think about
Yeah.
Hogwarts? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, bye everybody.